Hi, this is Mike back with Southern Evo, here to introduce a new Valtinsu electric bike, the EM-22. I'm going to start by taking it out of the box, which coming from China, most bikes shipped from China will come in a metal crate. That's why they come in so heavy. This weighed about 236 pounds. To get these out of the crate, you're going to need a 14-inch wrench and ratchet, or using an impact makes it a whole lot faster. What you want to do is all the way around the bottom are bolts on both sides. You got a nut and a bolt that you're going to have to unloosen to get this out of the crate. Problems with that one bolt, I think there's three. And just like that, easy peasy, crates apart. You want to get you some snips, because they do have some wires that hold things secure in the crate. This here is our goodie box. Got our controller in here, or not controller, but a charger, sorry. some tools, and the manual. I do prefer having the bike come shipped this way in the metal crate. Truthfully, it's better for the environment because there's no styrofoam inside the box. Much easier to get to the bike and unpackage the bike. Valtinsu always does a very good job at packaging their products. Look at that bike. That's a beautiful bike. $17 on one side and $14 on one side of the shock mount. Like that, it goes on. Get you a tiny bit of Loctite. Supposed to use blue, but I'm all out of blue, so I'm using red. So I'm only going to use a very little. And if you didn't know, red holds a lot stronger than blue. You're going to need the same 17 for both sides. Wait a minute, no. I'm wrong on that. 17 and a 19 it looks like.
There you go.
And if you're wondering, this is a 6mm Allen. There's already blue Loctite on the nut for the handlebars. Looks like the front suspension is adjustable. I see an adjustment on the top of each one. When I get it on the bike rack stand, I'll be able to look on the bottom of each shock to see if there's an adjustment there. Don't over tighten these. This is aluminum. You will strip it. You just want them to be snug and tight. forget to always grease your axle. Remember, small spacer this side, big spacer on the brake side. Light is so dark, can't see the hole. Valtinsu EM-22. I'll do a little ride for y'all in tomorrow's part of the video and let you know what the specs are and what I think of the bike. See you tomorrow. I'm back. It's a different day. It's actually Sunday. We had rain all day yesterday and this morning and last night. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to give you a first ride of the bike today like I wanted to, because it's absolutely nasty back there on the trails. So what I'll do is go over the specs of the bike with you today. The battery is under here. You do not need to take the whole bike apart to get to the battery and the controller. You take these 6 screws out of this top cover, and if you gently pull up the cover from the back, it's not going to break. You can pull it off. You'll have to unplug this wire. We'll stick that to the side. And then you got your controller on the top, which Mr. Central Drive covered in his video. This is a hobby wing controller. He has not been able to find any information about it, and I have not been able to find any information about it. It is a programmable controller, as he said in his video. The app does not work for some reason with this controller yet. Hopefully they will get that fixed. But this is capable of 60 amps and 250 phase amps. I do not believe the bike is getting 60 amps or 240 phase amps. It does move along pretty fast. From watching Mr. Central Drive's video, it'll go about 37 miles an hour. I did take the battery out for you guys. I wanted to give you a comparison of the two batteries. This is your EM5 battery. This is your EM-22 battery. This battery is 60 volt, believe it or not, 28.8 amp hours at 1728 watt hours. If there was any more information on the battery, I could tell you what the BMS is, but there is no information on the battery about how many amps the BMS is. All I can tell you is it's from Matrix New Energy Company. And this battery is a little bit narrower than the EM5 battery, which means this 60 volt battery will fit inside your EM5. You will have to use some foam padding to keep it secure. This battery will also fit in a Tutuio. So that if you buy one of these, you can swap batteries to your other bikes to get more power, if you have either the EM5 or the Tutuio. Let me put everything back together real quick, and I will show you some of the functions on the display and how to work the headlight. Let's stop. Once you get the battery back in the bike and put the bracket back around the battery and then mount the controller back to the bracket, you want to plug this little wire in, which is for your charger. You're going to take and put the top around the down tube first. Push and pull on the seat at the same time. And it goes right down. It doesn't damage the seat. And you don't have to take the rest of the bike apart. To turn the bike on, you want to press and hold the power button. There is no key. You have 3 modes, 1, 2, and 3 are Eco, Tour, and Sport. To turn the headlight on, you want to press the positive button and hold it down. This will turn the light on. You got to press and hold the positive button again to turn the light off. There's 3 modes on the light. You have white, amber and strobe. This is what the amber looks like. And this is what the strobe looks like. You have functions on the display that I will show you in 1 second. I'm going to go over a few things in the display with you guys. If you just lightly press the power button, you will change modes on the display. I just went from trip to voltmeter, from voltmeter to the duration that the bike has been on, your amps that you're pulling when you twist the throttle, and then back to odometer. To go to the internal settings of the display, you want to press and hold the minus button down. The first setting is for the brightness and darkness of your screen. The second setting is to change from miles per hour to kilometers per hour. The rest of the settings I'm unsure of. They are not in the manual. I have reached out to Valtinsu about these settings and what they are and what the proper way is to adjust them. As soon as I get that information, I will share it with you guys. To get out of when you're adjusting the settings, if you just don't touch anything and leave it alone, it'll go back to the main screen. As you can see up here, it has some very beefy brake reservoirs. Very beefy. These remind me of something that you'd have on a 125cc dirt bike, 150, something along that. These are very huge reservoirs, which means you're going to have very good braking in this on this bike. I can tell you and I will apologize for my lighting. I'm in the garage because of the rain we're having. The rear brakes are dual piston on this, as are the front brakes are dual piston. Normally some of the e-bikes only come with like the Valtinsu EM-22 and the Tutuio only have a single piston rear caliper. This actually has a dual piston rear caliper. To the rear shock, it is adjustable at the top. I am going to flip my shock to where my adjustment is on the bottom. This is just a coilover adjustment on the spring to stiffen up your ride. And it will raise the height a little bit when you do that. You will need a spanner wrench to adjust the nut on top of the spring. Let's go around to the chain and the sprocket. And it is a 60-tooth sprocket in the rear with a 420 chain. I am unsure of the size on the front. I'm assuming it's going to be the same as the Tutuio and be a 10 or an 11, or like on the EM-5. I think they're either a 10 or 11. I can't remember. It has decent foot pegs. Definitely easy to upgrade and go to a better peg, like a prickly pegs or something like that. To the front suspension, there is adjustments on the front suspension. The diameter of the suspension is the same as on my SWM back there, and it has KKE forks on it, so that means I would be able to put KKE suspension on the front of this if I wanted to. It has 17-inch tires front and rear. Both tires are 70/117. The motor is right down here, as you can see, and you can see it from the top. This is a 2500 watt nominal motor, and I do not know what the peaks are on the motor.
I'm waiting to hear back from Valtinsu also about what the peak is of this motor. I do know if the controller was putting out 60 amps with the 60 volt controller, this would be pushing 3600 watts. And I can tell you that this is not pushing 3600 watts. And that's how you do that. It's 60 volts, 6 times 60 amps. That gives you how much watts you would have. That's how you get your watts, your volts times your amps. Other than that, this thing has a nice mud guard here to help keep spray. And I do think this one up here could have been a little longer, to be truthful. I also do think that this bike would have made a great commuter choice for city or suburban. I think this would be a great platform to have dual sport tires with turn signals, brake light, tail light, with the max speed only being 37 miles an hour, and how comfortable it feels to sit on it. It feels like you're sitting on more of like a cafe racer style motorcycle, so it's very comfortable to sit on, which means it would be very comfortable to commute on. I'm not sure if this could actually be licensed as a moped. I have not seen a VIN number on the frame anywhere. I've looked. I have not seen one. There may be somewhere inside, underneath the panels. Other than that, I will say one more thing about the rear sprocket, and I will leave a link in the description. This will also work on the EM5. This is a 57 tooth sprocket, which will give you a little bit more top speed. You will lose a little bit of torque in low end, but for the torque that the EM5 has, I don't think that you will lose that much. But you will gain some top speed, and the same goes for the EM-22. There's not much torque on this. I wish the controller was tuned with the 240 phase amps. That would give this much more torque, and this would be a very good option for this. I am going to try on both bikes with this sprocket to see how much more top speed comes without changing the battery or the controller to get more performance. I do plan for you guys in a day or so to have another video coming out with the EM-22 of me riding the bike, my first impressions, how I think the suspension feels, the rideability. Other than that, that will be it for today. I will apologize again for the poor lighting. I will leave a link in the description for the sprocket, and I will leave a link in the description for the Valtinsu EM-22. If you have liked the content that I have provided today, please give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment. And I hope you come out for the next video. Thank you. This has been Southern E-Volt.